Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Twin State Podcast. We're your hosts, Luke and Jackson Hershey, twins from Charlotte, North Carolina. Same face, two opinions. And, guys, this is an episode we've been so excited to drop for a while now. Yeah, you know what? First of all, we're about to go on this kind of college series tour where we're going to the top high schools, colleges, and pro teams around the country. And the high school that really stuck out to us was Saraland High School in Mobile, Alabama. And we actually started to get to know them when we had Ryan Williams on our show. And Coach Kelly has been unbelievable. They've been in the finals in the last 4 years. And what they've built at that program it's really just truly amazing. And we got the opportunity to go sit down while we were there with their starting quarterback, Jamison Roberts, wide receiver Derick Durgan, and head coach, Coach Kelly, and really just kind of talk about what it takes to build such a powerhouse program, but also kind of the behind the scenes of how Saraland's gotten to where they are. And we got to talk to them about their faith and recruiting and everything above. So we are so excited for this week's podcast with the guys from Saraland. So without further ado, let's go. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back to the Twin State Podcast. We're here live at Saraland High School with none other Coach Kelly. Man, thank you so much for taking the time on a Monday right after Easter. Really appreciate you.
Heck, it's a fun time of the year. We got a lot of things going. Spring sports are wide open, off season. We got spring break next week, and then when we get back, we got spring training. So it's exciting times. A lot of things going on.
Yeah, I know y'all just got done with a really good season. Coming off like. Are you in a point now of just being ready to go right into the next season or just kind of enjoying the time off?
You know, I think you got to have a balance in there. Sure. You know, obviously, there's so much work and so much a part of the grind that goes into every football season. And we've played a bunch of football over the last really 4 years. We've been in the finals. We played 15 games for 4 straight years. And so you do have to take a step back. You have to catch your breath, and then you got to jump back into the off season. And every year is a new year. You know, we've had a lot of success, and I think one of the reasons is, you kind of blow it up and start over again the next year. You got a new team, a new identity in terms of who you are and how you go about your business. And so right now, during the off season, they've been in the weight room. We're starting to get out on the field a little bit and do, some field work and trying to grow our team and identify our leaders and see the things that we need to work on throughout spring training in the summer to be where we want to be.
Yeah. Coach, I love that. And we were just really curious, every coach has a different answer for this, but how did you really get into football? Because every coach just has a different journey, but they normally go from players to coaches. But how did you find that was the route that you want to go down?
As a career?
Yes, sir.
That's a great question, and my path and my journey is probably a little different than most. Like everybody, you grow up, you love the game, and you play it from the time you can run around and walk. When you grow up in Alabama, in South Alabama, when you get 5 or 6, I mean, you're at the park playing, and so it was a big part of my life. And when I got to high school, I had the privilege of playing for a guy named Ronnie Massey, who, was, I think, one of the, other than my dad, he's probably had the biggest influence on me in my life. Just a great, great man, taught you so much more other than just football. I managed to have, some good success. I went to Southern Miss out of high school. I played quarterback there. Started 3 years. We had a really great run, won a bunch of games, won bowl games. A lot of accolades and awards, and really when I finished college, my background was in finance. I was going into investment banking. I'd already gotten my investment licenses, Series 6, Series 7. I had a job lined up. My life was it was clear. I mean, what I was doing, and it had nothing to do with football. And I had a good career in college, and kind of surprisingly, I think I knew I'd probably get a shot to make a camp in after graduation in college, but I got drafted.
Really?
By the Seahawks.
That's nuts.
So it was, and I spent 2 years in Seattle and playing with Coach Holmgren, and got a chance to Trent Dilfer. You guys probably,
right.
Matt
Absolutely.
Hasselback, all those
All the
guys.
guys.
You guys are young broadcasters, and you talk about growing up loving Sports Center. One of the coolest things about that time for me, and you guys have all seen them on Sports Center, but that's what every position meeting was like. Hearing Trent and Matt, Jeff George was there, and just hearing them go back and forth and debate. And I mean, that was fun. So I had a couple great years there, learned a lot of ball, and then when I got done playing, I got cut, and then obviously I was, you go to a tryout here, a tryout there, and you stay ready, wait for your phone to ring.
Sure.
And I did that for that first fall, and then growing up, I grew up around here, and there was a school around here that was looking for a high school coach. And I was 23 years old. I'd never been a coach before. I guess nobody else wanted the job. So I was offered the job, and I was like, what the heck? Let me go try this out. I think this may be something that would be fun. My thought process was two things. Number one, if I went to coach football, it meant I didn't have to get a real job.
Awesome.
And then the second part, I thought my high school coach, Coach Massey, had the coolest job in the world because he had a chance to just influence and work with young men. So I said, what the heck? So I went and gave it a shot just on a flyer, and I had some really good guys with me that were veteran guys that kept me from making the big mistakes.
Right.
And so here we are about 24 years later. I still, I kept my investment license, and I do a little bit of that on the side and all those kind of things. But what really started as a, just an idea of let's, go check it out, maybe give it a year, a semester. It turned into a great career, and we've had a great run, and I've had some great memories and great moments, and got a chance to work with some awesome kids. So it's a long answer, but that's
your resume is beyond impressive. And It's just really cool to see.
Yeah, I think it's always crazy of how kind of God works in everyone's story. And you obviously loved football and wanted to continue playing when you were in Seattle. And it's kind of funny how he carved your path right into just continuing to be in the sport.
I think many coaches probably coach because they can't play anymore. And you love the game, you love what it means. The game is the part everybody sees. The cool part about football is the meetings. It is the locker rooms. It's the bus rides. It's the relationships that is just different. And so that's kind of what makes it special.
So, Coach, you've gotten to coach at a couple of great schools, but what's made Saraland so special for you?
For me, when I came here 15, 16 years ago, it was a new school. We were practicing. Everybody, when you think about Saraland, they think about what it is now. Being, in the finals 4 straight years, in the semifinals 6 of the last 8, and just all the success. We've won more games than anybody in the state over the last 5 years.
Nice.
Everybody sees that now, but what I think about Saraland is those days when we were working out in classrooms. We had 2 classrooms across the hall that we kind of transformed into weight rooms, and so we put half the group in one classroom. And then we practiced on what's now the tennis courts out there, and so this thing has really, over the last 15, 16 years, it's went from, a fledgling new school, a new system, 0 traditions, 0 history, into one of the most well-respected programs in all of football in the state, and to have a small part of that, and really to have the best seat in the house for all those special Friday nights, and to coach these awesome kids that's come through over the years, it makes it so special because whatever it is, I've been a part of every step of the way, and it'll make a great book one day.
Yeah. When you think of, or I guess when I think of Saraland, I think of success. Like you said, over the past couple of years, really constantly being in it to win the whole thing. When you're going in the off season and you're restarting like you're about to do, how do you get the guys combined together in the same thought of, man, we want to reach that same goal, and then put in that extra work to do it? Because there's a reason why every team doesn't do what you guys do. Y'all have put in the work.
Well, I think it's the first thing, you got to have a short memory.
Right.
Just because you've had success in the past, it does not mean that you're guaranteed anything in the future. And the quicker that we as coaches and players can understand that, will give us best chance to be successful. Our players, they do a good job of showing up to work every day. We want to make every day important. There's a lot of people that make game day important. There's a lot of people that make the season important, but in order to sustain or really improve, and that's what we want to do. We don't just want to sustain. We want to continue to find ways to get better. But you've got to go into it with the mindset of, hey, a short memory. What's happened in the past doesn't matter. And if we want a chance to be successful, then, we've got to do things a certain way. We've got to attack each day with a certain kind of mindset. And that has served us well, and it's kind of took our mindset off of, you can't look too far behind. You can't look too far ahead. You just got to be focused on what we got to do today. And so I think that's the key is making every day important, and if you can do that, and if you can do that every day and try to get a little better every day, you got a chance with good players
do some big things,
to do some big things and some fun things. So and two, here's the other part is and you're going to talk to some players here in a little bit. There's every group that comes through, they don't want to let those guys that came through in the past, they don't want to let them down, And so there's been so much tradition and excellence, and I think that's something that every group that comes through here, they want to continue to do well or maybe take it to a new level.
Speaking of the legacy, do you have a favorite, memory throughout your time here? Because you've had lots of ups and downs, but is there a favorite memory that sticks with you?
Well, you could probably break it up into chapters, kind of like in a history class. You've got the back in the early years, we had some big wins. There was a big win at Homewood in 2013 that I think was the first big playoff win for us. And then we followed it up here with a quarterfinal win at St. Paul's in double overtime, which was a big moment back in 13. We've had some big moments. The game, all the old timers around. I say old timers, guys that were here 11, 12 years ago. There was a second round game at Opelika, and we had to have a 4-down stand in overtime from the 1 yard line.
Really?
To win that game, and so we held them out from the 1. And if you go look at our principal right now, our principal's screensaver on his phone is the picture from that 4th down.
That's insane.
12 years later.
I love that.
And so that's a cool moment. Every year there's so many. Obviously, in 22 when we won it, we beat Mountain Brook in the finals. If you go back to the 3rd round game, we played Homewood again.
Sure.
And we had the last play of the game, we had to make a stop on a 2-point conversion to win 57-56.
Holy crap.
And we had to stop, and it was literally an inch or two from scoring. And that was the last play of the game. So that's a big moment, but there's so many. There's so many cool games, cool moments, but that's just a couple of them.
Over the last couple of years, y'all have sent a lot of guys to big-time schools. Like SEC, Alabama's and Auburn's, Ryan's obviously at Alabama.
Sure.
How, from a standpoint of guys coming in to work, how does that kind of motivate them to put in the work of hey, I'm watching my former classmates go and play at these big-time schools? How does that put in the work for them?
I think it. I think it matters. I think everybody that plays this game at this level, when I say at this level, you've got different levels in high school.
Sure.
You've got smaller school, you got rural ball, you've got big time in the bigger classifications. When you play at this level, and if you're a good player, you've got dreams to go play at the next level.
For sure.
And so we all do. I mean, our players. I mean, that's kind of the pinnacle. That's what you strive for. That's what you shoot for. And we've had a lot of players that over the years that have come through and had success. You mentioned a couple of them now that are in college. Velus Jones won a Super Bowl this year with the Seahawks. You got Cordell Flott, who just signed for $45 million with the Titans. Those guys grew up literally 50 yards from each other, not far from the school, and then Ryan was probably another 50 yards from them. So
that's too funny.
You've got a lot of history here, and so it's fun. I think everybody wants to create their own identity, though. Yeah. I think you've got good players, and we're all competitors, and we've got guys that are in college now. KJ Lacey is at Texas, and our quarterback this year is committed to Oklahoma.
Right, crazy.
Going to be a senior, Jamison, and so let's just fast forward 2 or 3 years from now, and you go to the Red River rivalry, and you got two Saraland quarterbacks playing against each other. Oklahoma, Texas.
Who's going to win?
I don't know, but I'll be there. But I'm just saying. So there's that. If you go in the weight room right now, you'll see some banners of Ryan from his Mr. Football days and all that kind of stuff. And KJ won it, and Deshaun was right there in it last year too, and came up just a vote or two short. But we've had a lot of history. But our guys, they want to be their own version. They want to be themselves, and they want to go be the best. And that's one of the things that allows them to be great. And our guys will tell you. I mean, we've had some talented guys, and they probably get coached harder than anybody. I want to coach all our guys the same. And if anything, those guys that have that talent, that have that ability, I count on them to be leaders of our program and our team. And so, we want to coach them a certain way. And we've had a lot of success, and I've loved watching them all play.
Yeah, Coach, I know you're a man of faith. How important has your faith been in your coaching journey and just everything you do?
I think it's a part of everything that you do, and I'll be the first to tell you that, I screw up daily. With me and Jamison was gotten a conversation today in the weight room, and I was like, I screw up daily. I screw up every day, but the Lord has been right there in every aspect, in every walk, and every decision, and it's not something that you want to put on and just pull out on this day. It's just kind of who you are, and it's a part of what guides each and every day and each and every decision, and it's kind of who we are.
Yeah, I think that's obvious when you're looking at this team. You can feel it around this team, and that's what they identify. And I think that's so cool. Going into the new year, we were having this conversation with the coach last week of you have to every team you go into a new year with, you have to set a new standard of goals. It's honestly at the end of the day, it's the players' choices of where they want to go. What are you most excited for going into this new season with these guys?
There's all kind of angles that you can go here with that. And to tell you a little bit about me, I'm not a big slogan guy. I'm not a hey, this is going to be our mantra for this year. This is what we're going to be. This is what we're going to base our season on. We're going to not to say anything's wrong with that. And I'm not a huge goals guy.
I love that too.
Our goal is, for example, tomorrow we come in. Tomorrow's an outside day. Our goal for us tomorrow is to be better than we were last week. Is to go out and be our very best. Let's be locked in. Let's be focused today, and let's get better, and let's improve. Let's challenge ourselves to when we walk out of the weight room, that we're better than we were an hour and 10 minutes before when we walked in. And so the whole thought, the mindset is if we do that every day, and if we can stack that on top of each other every single day, then when it matters, we're going to be just fine. And, we don't, when we get into the season, our kids probably get tired of hearing me say all these things that we talked about, but we don't really have a season. We have 10 one-game seasons. And so when we get ready for week 1, we want to put all our eggs, push all our chips to the middle and say, hey, this is what it's all about. It's about this game. And we want to give each and every week and each and every game a life of its own. And so I'm probably not very good at setting big goals or slogans or those kind of things. What I want us to do is I want us to be great today. And I want us to be focused on whatever we got to do. If we do that every day, then we got a chance.
Right.
We got a chance.
Well, it's evident it has consistently worked for y'all's program. Coach, we just want to say thank you so much for giving us the time, and we're so excited to watch y'all throughout this next season.
Yeah, coming
Awesome.
up.
Thank y'all.
Excited. Thank you so
Heck
much,
yeah.
Coach. Appreciate you.
Fired up. Big fans.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Twin Stick Podcast. We're your hosts, Luke and Jackson, and we are so hyped because we got some big guests today.
We got the boys at Saraland High School, man. Boys, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Big time episode. First of all, y'all in the middle of school.
Yeah.
What class you guys come out of?
Well, actually, we just got done with school. School at 2:30.
Nice.
So we had to come right down here afterwards. But I had AP dual enrollment English 101, I'm pretty sure. So we're learning a bunch of stuff right there. I had an essay today.
That's always fun.
Yeah, fresh off the essay, came right down here. So
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I was in welding. It's a welding class.
Oh, that's sick.
I wasn't really doing much though, so I didn't really have a problem with it.
What y'all welding right now?
We not welding right now. Our welding's teacher, he's out, and we had a sub in there, so we would just sit in the classroom because we can't go in the welding room without him being there.
Dude, that's great, man. Boys, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate you. Bro, I guess we'll take it back before we get into the season. No, both of you guys are playing. When did kind of that love for football really start for both of you?
For me, I'll say in like 7th grade when I actually got into like the way of playing football, like learning plays and learning coverages and stuff like that. Because I played like 1 or 2 years in park ball. So I'll say 7th grade when I actually got into school football, that's when I really found the love for playing it.
And for me, I've been playing football my whole life, and since I was 4, and I played every year since then. But I feel like the love for football really like came on for me. Is when I got to high school and came to Saraland. I was at another school for middle school, and I transferred here in my 9th grade year. So it was like a whole new scenery. I've always known how good Saraland was. Always known how Coach Kelly develops quarterbacks, and like I always wanted to be the next like great one.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just when I got here, to be honest. Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy. I hadn't been here. Obviously worked with them before, but I hadn't been here. And it's a beautiful school.
Yeah.
What about Saraland made you want to transfer here?
Really just the people. I'm a real big people guy,
Yeah.
and I'm big on relationships and trying to build different types of relationships. And everybody I came in contact with at Saraland, they were just so nice, so welcoming, and they opened me and my family up with open arms when we got here. So that's really what made the difference.
Dude, I love that. How big of a role has Coach Kelly and y'all's position coaches played for both of y'all? Because I think something that's really cool about high school athletics is the position coaches and the head coach can sometimes make the difference. How big of a role have they played for y'all?
My position coach and Coach Kelly, I feel like they played a big role. Anytime I messed up or anytime I would get in my head, they always remind me like they got me starting for a reason. Like they put me in that position for a reason. They always reminded me that they believed in me. And that, they had me on the field for a reason. So, I feel like they played a major part in playing football just in general and wanting to stay at Saraland.
For me, just to piggyback off what he said, Coach Kelly, he is my position coach. He coaches the quarterbacks, and he's really the only coach I talk to besides our wide receivers coach, Coach Bowell, which is also my varsity baseball head coach. Coach Kelly, he's always been in my corner. I'll say that. Ever since I got here in 9th grade, he brought me up for the first varsity practice, well, one of the first varsity practices in the summer. And even though I was a struggling 9th grader, I could barely throw a spiral, get the ball out on time. My footwork was all jacked up. He stuck with me, and he saw the light at the end of the tunnel. And I can't thank him enough for that. And every single day I come here, he pushes me just to be a better version of myself. And that's the type of coach I love to play for, and that's why I love him so much.
Man, I know you did Elite 11 regionals, man. How cool of an experience was that, getting to kind of compete against the top guys really in the area and the states around you?
For me, it was really cool. You know, every quarterback in high school wants to go to the Elite 11.
Right.
Like, that's the most prestigious quarterback fraternity in the whole country. Every NFL starters basically went to the Elite 11. Every college starters basically went to the Elite 11. It's like you really want to make it there. And for me, the regional I went to was the one in New Orleans. And we had a bunch of top quarterbacks there, like Peyton Houston, who's committed to LSU. And also Elijah Haven was down there. He's #1 quarterback in 27. And also, like, a special guest was down there, Bo Bryan.
Cool.
I forgot. I think his dad's Luke Bryan, the country singer.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, Luke Bryan, the country singer, was down there. And, yeah, his son was down there with us. So it was just a crazy experience, very surreal. And I wouldn't trade it for anything else.
Dude, that's too cool, man. We'd love to talk to you guys about your recruiting journey and what you guys want to do next. How cool has that been for y'all?
For me, it's been really cool. You know, these past couple weeks and months has settled down since I've committed. But before then, it really took off my junior year. I didn't play my freshman and sophomore year because I was sitting behind KJ, obviously. And I tried to take everything I could from him and just soak up everything. And then my junior year, I really just put that all on display. For me, recruiting, it was really hot at the beginning. It started to pick up a lot. I will say this past January, when a lot of coaches got to come down and see me actually throw in person, because like you can see somebody throwing film, but seeing them throw in person is totally different. Yeah, totally different story. So they were like, once they saw that, like they gave everybody the green light to go ahead and offer. And then like I really got to just lock in with one. Like, and Oklahoma was the school I chose. So.
For me, my recruitment is not that high, but most of the interest and college coaches that I've talked to came from mostly my junior year. I didn't really play my sophomore year, and I didn't even get pulled up to varsity my freshman year. But my junior year, when my sophomore off season, when I locked in, put the work in, that I really needed to put in, I was sitting on the couch and playing the game. I feel like that's really. And I displayed that my junior year. I feel like that's really when, college coaches contacted me and, staying in touch, waiting for my, my senior year. Just sort of, you feel me? So, like the big offers.
Y'all going in, both of you going into senior year?
Yes, sir.
Dude, how cool of an experience is it? I mean, obviously y'all are friends, like getting to go into your senior year, kind of wrapping up junior year and just finish it all out with your boys.
It's really exciting. Most of the people that's on the team I've been playing with since middle school, I started playing with him my freshman year, but the bond and the brotherhood that we built over the last couple of years, it's different. It's exciting going into our last season, knowing he gonna be by my side on the field,
Yeah, for me, I had to say the same thing. We built a real strong bond, and I feel like nobody can really take that away from us. And I feel like that's why we're so successful year after year after year, because the teams that we have at this school, they focus on trying to be the best teammate for the guy next to them and not trying to be a me guy. So I feel like we're all servants to each other. We all try to help each other. We're all just great football players and even better people. Yeah. So I feel like that's why we're always so successful here.
Dude, so obviously your former teammate is over at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
How cool would it get to be to play in that rivalry against him? And I mean, honestly, that's gonna. I mean, for this school, I'm sure that's gonna be nuts.
Yeah. It's gonna be insane. Me and him have already talked about it just a tad. I hinted at it when I committed. I told him I'll see you in the Red River rivalry before I even showed everybody else where I was committing. He was like, "Oh, okay, I got you."
He knew where you were going.
Yeah, he knew. But KJ, he's a great guy. I talk to him every now and then. He's doing great at Texas, and I know he'll continue just to do great things.
Yeah, man, dude, that's gonna be nuts, man. If that actually goes down, holy crap.
Yeah.
Game of the century. Know you guys are big in faith, man. How big has that been for your football journey?
For me, it's been like the cornerstone of my football journey. Just having to keep the faith and staying in God's word. A big verse for me was Jeremiah 29:11. That basically just talks about how God, He knows the plans for He knows the plans for your life, and He's not going to lead you astray as long as you keep your trust in Him. And that's really been like my verse and like my mantra as I've been playing high school football, because like high school football, it can get really hard trying to get recruited and like trying to get to the next level and like chase your dreams. But I feel like that verse is really like it's really helped me get through.
Solid.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I feel like my faith obviously played a big part in my football journey. My mom, well, I come from my mom. She's real like strong in like church and Bible verses. So it's been around me since I was a little kid. And playing football in high school, like he said, is challenging on the mental and the physical level. Yeah. So I feel like asking, talking to God, personal conversations in private, it really like guided me to where I am today, and I wouldn't be here if it weren't for that, honestly.
Yeah, I think like I feel like high school in general is like this weird time of like everyone's trying to figure themselves out, and at the same time you're expected to have everything figured out. And also, like you said, like I have a lot of friends where we go that are making that jump to like college basketball and college football, and it's like they're expected to have all the offers and have all like everything done. It's like, man, it's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. And I think that's really cool that y'all are really leaning on him to guide you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, I think what's really cool about what he said also is, I mean, it's just as a junior in high school, y'all have it figured out more than most kids, and that's honestly really cool to look at.
Yeah. Boys, so you're in the off season, going into senior year. What are you most excited about? First of all, when do you guys actually start training?
Late. It will be late April.
How ready you guys to get back?
Well, we're ready to get back on that field. Right now, we've been in the weight room almost every single day, busting our butts. The weight room, it gets humid in there. It gets hot. Like it's a lot. It's like 70 kids in there. We're all going crazy, trying to get stronger, trying to get bigger, trying to get faster. And it gets hot fast. But that really just goes to show like all the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into the off season, and how our team is constantly trying to get better.
Is there a game that you two are like marking on the calendar that's like holy crap?
He already knows.
Yeah, it's like holy crap. I don't. I mean, the games are great, but this game I'm marking on my calendar.
I mean, you got to prepare for every game equally, and I got to prepare for every game. You got to prepare for every game equally. But since our freshman year, I don't want to say the name.
Nah, don't
Okay,
even do it. Don't even do it.
Since our freshman year, we just been trying to play a team, and we finally got that team on the schedule. We know.
Oh, so
players,
it took the 3 years to get the team on the schedule.
Yeah, players on our side. We're real cordial. You feel me? We got friends from each team. They know each other, so. I ain't gonna say the name of the team.
Nah, smart. You're good.
You don't want to have stuff on their whiteboard. Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, it's definitely a game on there that I'm really excited to play and compete with people that I know from both schools.
For me, I mean there really isn't a big game on the schedule. I take every game, like Coach said, it's a one-game season. I'm putting everything I have into that one game, and hopefully, I know we're going to come out on every single game. So you got to keep that going. So yeah.
Dude, we had a running back that was going to Florida State. He was a freshman last year, and he actually played a lot. But we had him on a couple weeks before the season started. We were asking him about that Alabama game because they played Alabama before. We were asking him yo, what do you think of the game? And he literally just looks at me. He's like, dude, whatever I say, they're gonna take and they're gonna use it.
Yeah.
And it ended up working out for him, but it's so true, man. That's hilarious. Bro, well, we're excited for you guys. Thank you so much for the time, man. Really do appreciate you guys. I guess we want to leave it off with, as you're going into your senior season, if you look back and kind of pick up a biggest lesson you've learned along the way, what would it be?
Cherish the time that you have with your teammates.
That's good.
These are some strong bonds that I have with my teammates, each and every single one, from the linemen to the long snappers to the kickers to the to anybody, to the water boys, to everybody, like, cherish those moments. Because, like, when I was in 8th grade, all the high schoolers was telling me high school flies by, and I didn't believe them. And then looking back at 9th grade to now, like, I'm about to be a senior. Like, it's crazy how fast that time goes by.
For me, I'll say, you'll hear it a lot. Coaches are like, consistency is key, and I feel like that's like 100% truthful. When you're consistent with anything that you do, like, it's 9 times out of 10 it's bound to work out for you. But like with a lot of things that I've been consistent with, if I break the consistency, I can feel myself, drifting away from where I was. So I feel like the statement that consistency is key, I feel like that's a big. I feel like that's a big thoughtful statement,
Yeah, man. That's really good. Final question for you, man. When you're looking, what about Oklahoma was so special? If like, man, you stepped on campus and that was the right place to be, because I knew there was a lot of schools you could have gone to, but there, what was so special about Oklahoma?
For me, what made Oklahoma special was the people.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a big people person, big on relationships, and I feel like they had the longest time to build that relationships out of all the other big schools, because they kind of offered kind of late in the process, for me at least. Oklahoma offered in November of last year. So I mean, I've always loved that school. It's QBU over the past 26 years since the 2000s. It's been QBU, and just the people in the building. To be honest, they actually came down here to eat dinner with my family one night, and we went to Winsel's Oyster House right out in Saraland.
Seafood, man.
Yeah, we had some seafood, and just the conversations and like the bond they were trying to make with my family, that really set it off for me. So yeah.
Bro, that's so exciting. Bro, we're excited for both of you guys watching you next season.
Big things are coming for both of you.
Go win a state championship, bring it back, man, and thank you guys so much for the time.
Yeah, thank you.